Hi guys, recently you set a mock paper and today you're working on the corrections, and hopefully this video helps you to work on that. Okay, let's have a look at some of the questions from here. The first one, change centimeters into millimeters. You should know by heart that 1 centimeter has 10 millimeters. In case if you forget, look at the ruler in exam. So that is times 10, 400. So when you add like terms, you have to add the numbers at the front. There is no number, but it assumes it's 1 there. Okay, we draw the mirror image here. Has to be on the other side of the line. Count the squares. Most of you got this question right, so that's good. And this question was quite easy as well. Everybody, I think, found the value of 6 correctly, 6,000. Change all your numbers here into percentages, and then you can easily see what number, what order to put them at. This was quite an easy question as well. Use the key. Each sun means 2 hours. This is another straightforward question. 20 minus 6, because that's the change. You're left with 14 pounds. Divide by 2. You can buy 7 candles. Gives you 3 marks. Here's a bar chart question, and you need to draw 2 bars. I think a couple of you forgot to draw the bars, didn't see the question. This is quite easy, so look at the height of your bar, 35 and 20. So look at the scale on the left hand side. So make sure the bars are the same distance from each other, the same width. Okay, look at this in February. There will be things 15.5. Let's find that measurement. 15, between 15 and 20 you have to have 17 and a half. It's not 15 and a half. So you either say scale goes up by 5, or you can say halfway between 15 and 20 is 17.5, not 15.5. That was an easy question to do. I think most of you spotted the pattern. And when you draw that, make sure it's 5 squares long and 5 squares down. So keep the widths the same. Don't make it wider than it is. Okay, temperature question, minus 15 plus 42. So you know you can swap the numbers around here. You get 27 degrees. So well done for getting this right. This was a bit hard question for you, obviously, because most of you don't pay bills, so you don't understand these numbers in kilowatts. They mean all the months including October, and the second number all the previous months including November. So do find the difference between them to find the value only for November. And you have to multiply. I think a couple of you tried to divide here. You do multiply by 16p to find the total value. Remember, your answer is still in pence, so if you've divided by 100 you get it in pounds. 73 pounds 60. That was 4-mark question. Well done if you got every step right there. So we're adding 2 fractions. Remember, they have to have the same denominator. So a couple of you guys forgot to multiply the numerator by 2. So it should be 2 over 12, and then you add the top numbers only. 7 over 12 is the right answer. So here we're multiplying. I think some of you tried to find a common denominator here. You don't have to. You just multiply numerators together and the denominators together. Don't forget to simplify your answer, because that's what the question asks you to do. 3 over 16. So here, question 13, guys, is the probability question. We can use fractions, decimals, or percentages. I think if you try to use the ratio, please don't use the ratio for the probability. So So you see, first question we're using fraction, in the second we can use a decimal, but you know probabilities add up to 1, so use that fact. Substitution, let's substitute x by 4, and that gives you 19. You can stop each video, the video after each question to make notes if it helps. So don't forget to round your answers for the estimation. Here you had to put the point in the right place. You can just round each number first to estimate roughly what number you're looking for as an answer. 900, so the point goes after 7. 947.2. Distance, time and speed question. So you probably know this triangle, distance, time and speed. For the speed we divide distance by time, for the time we divide distance by speed. Okay, let's identify what we have. You can show it as a fraction, simplify it, and then just change it to a mixed number. So 1.25 hours, guys, is 1 hour 15 minutes. I think some of you got to this stage but forgot to change a quarter into 15 minutes. And then add that time to the time given, 7:30. And the answer is 8:45. So even if you didn't answer the first question, guys, you can easily answer this one. So if your speed is higher, greater, obviously you will arrive to the destination sooner. Okay, this is the frequency tree. When you put the values given into the circles, just look what you have and put them in the right places. So the total is 72, and then you can easily work out the other values in the circles. Remember, 2 circles add up to the 1 circle to the left. So 12 adults failed the test, and we're going to write it as a probability 12 over 72. Of course, some of you attempted to put 32. It has to be out of the total. So that's how we write fractions, part out of the total. 25 scones we need to work out. Sugar for 25 scones, we can't go from 10 to 25. We're going to find the amount for 5 scones first, because that's the multiple of factor of 10, 20 grams, and then multiply by 5 to get 100 grams. So working out 10% first, you know what it is, divide by 10. And for 20%, you double your amount. And do not forget to add that to the number given. So do add that, 288 pounds. So we've got fractions. I suggest you write the fractions on the shapes, because that helps you to work out the white parts if you don't know them. So 5/8, that's going to be 3/8, because they both add up to 8 out of 8. Okay, just write them down, and then you will see if you subtract a minus 2 over 11, actually that gives you the shaded part for rectangle B. So here you have to have the common denominator. So change them into equivalent fractions. Subtract the top numbers only, and 39 over 88 is the right answer. I think only a few students got this right, so if you're one of them, well done. Okay, let's order this information into stem and leaf. So you've got 2-digit numbers. The first number going to be written on the left hand side of the diagram, stem and leaf. Just write them as 1, 2, 3, and the digits, units, should be written on the right hand side of the diagram. Make sure you write them in order. You see, we're not repeating the first digit. So 1/7 means 17. just shading and marking in differently, so I do not count something twice and do not miss anything out. So do not forget the key. Okay, so we've got the plan view and the front elevation of the cylinder. You know, cylinder is a 3D shape and you need to work out the volume. Let's write the formula straight away. You have to know this by heart. Pi radius squared times by the height. So pi radius squared, it will be the circle bit. So we're finding the area of the circle and then multiplying by the height. So remember, the plan view is the top view, the view from the top. And we don't need to have the rulers. A couple of you attempted to use the ruler here. The shapes are drawn on the centimeter grid, so just count the squares. Need to identify the radius and the height on the shapes. Substitute into the formula and you get pi times 45. So you keep pi in your answer, not just 45, 45 pi. So we solve inequalities in the same way as equations. So remember, we apply inverse calculations. The next step, you have to divide by 7. Do them in the right order, in the order reverse to BIDMAS. Yeah. So x is less than 5. This is the we're doing product of over 124. So break it down into the numbers which multiplied give you 124 until you get to prime factors. Okay, that's the big questions with many steps, and we're gonna work out first the ratio of the cars. So the split in the ratio, cars and vans, the split in the ratio is 3:10. So 160 is the total. Let's add the parts together. That will be the first step. Divided by 160 and you get one part, which is 16. So now we're going to substitute 16 into the first part for the car. 16 times 3, because there are 3 parts for the car, 48. So we don't really need to work out the vans here. Just need the cars. Or you can write the ratio again, 48 to 112. Okay, so we're going to work out, we know there are 48 cars. Let's find 1/8 of it, that is divide by 8. And then you're working out 25% of 48. Please use 48 again, don't use a different number. We'll be left with 30 cars that use petrol. 30 cars. Did you get this right? Well done. So we haven't covered these topics yet this year. Maybe some of you still remember from last year. So when you multiply numbers in standard form, this is quite easy. Just multiply the base numbers first, 4 times 6. And then for the powers of 10, you add their powers. So one more step here. You need to change 24 into 2.4, because the first number should be less than 10. And add the power. That becomes 2.4 times 10 to the negative 1. This is the angle question. You have to remember some angle facts here. For example, you can see angle X is the angle at a point. So you just all 3 angles will be added to 360 degrees. Identify that you've got 2 shapes here that regulate, means all angles are equal in the hexagon and the pentagon. We can use the fact about exterior angles. Exterior angles in any polygon add up to 360 degrees. Exterior is an angle outside. So you will see in a shape, I will be just marking it. just extend one of the sides outside, and that will be the exterior angle, like that. So that is 72, because we divided 360 by 5. There are 5 angles in pentagon, and for hexagon we're going to divide 360 by 6 and find the exterior angle in the hexagon, which is 60 degrees. Here it is. So as you see, angle X is made of 2 exterior angles, one for pentagon, one hexagon. Just add them up together and you will get the angle X, which is 132 degrees. It's a big question. You stop it, please pause and look step by step how to do it. So here, guys, we have a quadratic equation because you got x squared here as one of the terms. So when you draw that on the grid, it will look like a curve, like a U shape. So what we're doing here to work out the missing values for y, we're going to do substitution. Replace x by one number at a time. I'm doing it for 4. X equals 4. So 4 squared minus 3 times 4 plus 1. Okay, let's do it step by step. Squaring, multiplying, adding 1. And do it for every number one at a time. And now use your values from the table as coordinates now and plot them on the grid. So minus 1 and 5, that was the first coordinate. Then you have 0 and 1, 1 and minus 1, 2 and minus 1, 3 and 1, 4 and 5, and join them in a curve. It has to be a curve. It's not a straight line. It's not a linear graph. It is a quadratic graph. So in a second question, you see that instead of y, you got 0. Basically, look where your it crosses the x-axis. Your curve crosses x-axis. It crosses in 2 places. That will be your values for x. This question is about 3D shapes, cubes, and you need to work out the density. You have to know straight away the formula. So density is mass divided by volume. As you see, we don't have volume here, so we need to work out first. And volume is length times width times height. So you're multiplying 3 dimensions in a cube, which is the same number. And you get the volume. 27 centimeters cubed, and for cube B we multiply 4 times 4 times 4 to get 64 centimeters cubed. Okay, let's use this value in the formula to work out the density. So for A, we're going to mass divide by volume. So what is mass for density? Mass for in cube A, 81. 81 first. 81 divided by 27 we'll be doing here. Which gives you 3. So that is density for cube A, 3 grams per centimeters cubed. And for density B, we're gonna divide the mass, which is 128 by 64. So you go 3 to 2 and